We are recording.
Okay. All right. So welcome everybody. Thanks for showing up. Before most of you got on here, Jasmine made the comment that showing up is 80% of the battle. And I would for sure agree with that. Tonight's
Did you
Zoom
break in the
is
house?
for our...
Hold on, Kelly, 1 second. If you guys can mute yourself if you're not talking. I'm sorry, Kelly.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I wish I would have had that button when I taught high school. If I could mute everybody while I'm speaking, that would be great. But no. Okay, so welcome everybody who is here. I just want to be super respectful of your time because time is everything to all of us who are, of course, working for ourselves. But anyway, we're going to try to interview a couple of ladies, and these questions hopefully will inspire you and help you out on your own journey. So first, let me introduce, and I wish that I had a way of like changing the view, but I don't. Jasmine, you might. But anyway, Jasmine White and Jami Lindberg are on, and they are both very successful women in our upline. And so we're just going to kind of play a little 20 questions here. And the first thing I want to do is if both of you can just take a minute or two and tell us who you are and how you started in Thrive. So Jasmine, would you like to go first and then pass it on to Jami?
Yes, that's perfect. So
Okay.
Jason and I were actually talking. Jason is my husband, and we were actually talking about me and how much stuff had to fall into place for this journey to even happen for me. And long story short, this pandemic is the reason that I am here. If you guys know, some of you know me, I'm a wedding photographer like Kelli. And that's how Kelli and I actually know each other to begin with, is we're both wedding photographers. And when COVID happened, weddings stopped. So I was just kind of sitting at home. Everybody was canceling or rescheduling their weddings for next year. And I do weddings full time. Like that's our income. My husband is a teacher like Kelli's. And so just being honest, we don't get the main part of our income from my husband. So I was starting to panic a little. The fact that, I was kind of the breadwinner and everything just stopped, and I thought it was so secure. And I had a friend at the time that was talking to me about Thrive, and and I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Like I see the opportunity and entrepreneurism, is that even a word, in everything that I do. So when she was telling me about some of the benefits and some of the things with Le-Vel, I started looking at the comp plan, and I just thought it was too good to be true. And so I know that this is like a big total no-no, but I asked to see her paycheck because I didn't believe her. And she showed it to me because she knew that's what it would take to sell me on it. And it was legit. So I was like, you know what? I really have nothing to lose at this point. I'm sitting at home with my husband and my son, and I'm going stir crazy. I'm someone who loves to work. So I was like, I need to lose like 60 pounds. So what do I have to lose? So I posted a status on Facebook that night. And the night that I said, okay, I'll try this, samples hadn't even been mailed out to me yet. And I hit my first 2 bonuses within the first 24 hours. Just by posting a Facebook status saying I was going to start this journey. I kind of poured my heart out, and, I was really vulnerable with the post about how I've struggled with my weight since college, and I really just needed a change. And there were like 6 girls who were like, you know what, I'm going to do this with you. So that is how this all started for me. Had COVID and all of this stuff not happened, I probably I would have said I was too busy and I wouldn't have done it. So that is how I got here, and that is how I said yes to Thrive. Jami?
Yeah, Jami, would you care to tell us why you started Thrive, and then maybe tie into, because I know that you kind of did what Jasmine did and jumped right in as a promoter. And so maybe talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks so much for having me on. I am so appreciative and humbled that you would invite me to speak to your team. So thank you. You have been an absolute rock star. Both of you have just climbed the ranks so quickly, and it's been amazing to watch your journey and be able to have a little piece of it going on to be able to connect with you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I started with Le-Vel back 5 years ago. I had said no for months. I was super, super skeptical, was not drinking the Kool-Aid. And then my sister who is no longer with the company, she had kept telling me about it, and I had gone to visit her, and she had what you all do not know because of COVID, but she had a large local where everyone from around her area, the Seattle area, gathered at a hotel, and people shared their stories and all of that. And so people were going across that. She begged me to go and bribed me a little bit with Mexican food and margarita, and I said I'm in. And so I stood in the back of the room with tears falling down my face and thought, oh my gosh, if all these people can share their stories, and then this stuff must really be legit. And then I met Kendra Morse, who's $1 million leader in the company and absolutely the most wonderful person ever. And she stood in the back of the room next to me, and she said, do you really understand the opportunity here? And I said, well, I know that there are a lot of people driving a lot of nice cars, but I've got a really great minivan that is so cool. And so I really don't need a car. We're good. And she said, no, this is like life-changing, Jami. She said, it gives opportunity. You can create opportunities for your family. And I thought, wow, that was interesting to me because we were doing fine. Both my kids were in private school. I had that nice minivan, but we didn't have opportunities. We didn't have a lot of opportunities. And so she and I ended up talking, and I thought, you know what? This is a rocket ship, and I want to be a part of it. And so I signed on with the opportunity. I bought the $800 pack and that night, and had not sampled Thrive at all. Bought that $800 pack. That night I sent out 74 text messages that said, have you heard of Thrive yet? 74 people that I did like some type of life with. It wasn't, they weren't people that I hadn't talked to since college or high school. They were people who, I had done some type of life with in the past maybe 6 months or so. And I had 50 free accounts set up in the first 2 hours. That was at 10 o'clock at night. And that the next morning, my sister and I just got every single person on a call and explaining. And the next thing you know, we went VIP 800, 1600, and 4K in the first 10 days. I did not feel the Thrive experience in my body until I had been on it for 10 days. So we hit all of those bonuses and did not feel the product in my body at all. And so that was quite interesting. We went 12K in 29 days. 40K the next month, and we raced to 200K by 9 months. And it has been an absolute roller coaster of a ride, but for the majority of it, it's been up. And I am beyond elated to attach my name to a company like Le-Vel with CEOs and presidents that have such great integrity and believe in the promoters. They created this company for promoters, and they continue to bless us and honor us and treat us extremely well. And I absolutely cannot tell you where they cannot stress enough to you that you are in the right place at the right time.
You make me just want to I feel it. You make me want to go. You make me want to go send 74 text messages. So I wanted to follow up with that because one of the questions I asked my team to maybe send me either privately or in our group, what are some things that you would like to ask these ladies? Because that's why I wanted to do this was for them. And one of the questions that I get that what if you don't hit these things in 10 days? What if you don't hit them in your first month? And so I wanted to ask both of you, and just we'll follow straight up with Jami since you just finished and then pass it on to Jasmine. But what advice would you give to somebody who maybe they're in their first month, but they haven't hit all the bonuses? And, where can they go if they didn't, take off on a rocket ship?
Right. Well, that's a great question. And I will tell you that I think we're at 150-ish to 175 millionaires in the company. And I think they said 30 to 40% of them did not hit any of the bonuses. So it's okay. That's the beauty of Le-Vel. Most other multi-level marketing companies are not like that. The beauty of Le-Vel is that it's okay. It just keep going, just keep moving. A girl, one of our team members that hit 12K last month, it's her 5th year. She did not hit any of the first bonuses, and finally year 5, she's almost 5 years in, she hit 12K. So the beauty of this business is that you're your own business owner, you're your own CEO, you are your own boss, and you get to do it. You get to build the way that you want to build. And I always tell people, here's the deal with this business. You can work the business part-time or you can work the business full-time, but you cannot work the business sometimes because you do have people counting on you. So you do need to be touching base with your customers. And there are a lot of people who are really just happy getting their Thrive for free. And guess what? That's awesome. We love those promoters that are just really happy getting their Thrive for free. And you just don't know who's your next promoter in, who's your next person in. So always kind of keep your mindset on the fact that, okay, it's not a big deal if I didn't hit those bonuses. I mean, I missed out on $1,300 in personal bonuses, but there's still so many more opportunities along the way with Le-Vel.
Awesome. Okay, Jasmine, do you want to add anything to that?
I can't answer it better than that. She did great.
Oh, I'll let you go first the next time, Jasmine,
Yeah,
so you don't
nailed
have
it.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll go to you next. Okay. So this was one question that I had already written down, and then somebody else submitted it to me. And it was, what do you personally say when someone says, I'm interested in Thrive? So how do you take that to a sale? And Jasmine, we'll go to you.
So me personally, and the beauty of this is everyone can do this differently. Like, you don't have to do exactly what I do, and your personality isn't exactly like mine. So what I do may not work for you. But when someone comes to me and you're interested in Thrive, my first question is, okay, what are your goals? What do you want from this? Why? And that helps me to kind of better understand their journey and what they're expecting from this. Because I think that if you come in with the wrong expectations, like that this is some sort of like magic elixir that is going to like just do all the work and you don't have to do anything and it's just going to like change your life without you making any changes, like I think that we need to work on mindset a little as we go along. So I want to know how to help you be successful first and foremost. Secondly, I'm all about getting that free account set up as soon as someone messages me, because I don't want to take any chances with me doing all the work and then them signing up with someone else. So first and foremost, I want to know why you're coming to me. Secondly, we're going to set that account up because I'm not working for nothing. So those are the first two things that I'm doing. I just kind of like, usually when somebody comes to me, they're ready because they know that Jasmine is like gung-ho. If I message Jasmine, we're going. Because Jasmine is 200 miles an hour all the time. So I think that most people message me with that understanding. So usually if someone comes at me, you know, we're asking what's going on, what they want, we're signing up for the free account, and then I'm walking them through their order. So also another good thing, especially if you're new and you don't know the products real well, and this is really good for those of you who are like, you're still working on 4K, is getting them on the phone with someone else that is in your upline. That way they can explain the products, and that way you can learn by listening to them explain. So there's so many times I have called Jami and just said, hey, I have a girl on the phone, you know, she has this question, this question, this question. I introduce them and Jami takes over. And I put myself on mute and Jami does all the work. And Jami has been doing this so long, and she is able to build trust, and it takes me out of that sales position, and I could be more of the cheerleader in the support role. So that's kind of what happens when somebody messages me and is interested in thriving.
Awesome.
Jami?
I do almost exactly the same thing. So, and I wanted to give Jami another question. But anyway, I do the same thing. I ask about goals, and it's funny because I think we do almost the exact same thing. What are your goals? And I've told my people in another like private Zoom that never to assume somebody's coming to you for weight loss. You know, they might be coming to you for energy. They might be coming to you, you know, for other things. So to be sure to ask that. And that's just a really good tip to remind people, because we can't assume they want to lose 10 pounds because that almost might be insulting, you know. But Jami, I had a question for you, and this is a question from me. How have you managed, because I know you've been doing this for a few years, and so, you know, I have another business and I've dealt with lulls before. How does a new person coming in and starting a business like this deal with kind of lulls and off seasons, you know, and to keep going through that? So how have you managed that over the course of these years, and obviously doing it very well?
So thank you. That is a great question. And I talk about this a lot. There are seasons in this business. There are absolute seasons for each person in this business. And, you know, I heard it best from Jim Rohn years and years ago. Kendra Moore shared it with me, and I'll share it with you guys so you can share it on your team page. But it's the law of the harvest, right? There is a season for planting, and we need to be planting the idea, you know, I mean, I've gone through so many seasons where my PPA is sat at 2, 3, 1, and I have many experiences out, and I've had 3-way calls going, and I've got so much out there, and nothing is going on. But then I you know, it's all, don't ever worry about and be attached to the no. It's just not right now, because it'll come back around. And I have to laugh because in August 16th, so almost exactly 5 years ago of 2015, I had a girl, Carrie Purim, I set up her account, and she reached out to me yesterday, and I took her a mini experience today. So 5 years later, she was a person that I got into that funnel and worked her through, and she just wasn't interested then. It wasn't for her right then. And so that happens in this business. That's why you always need to be consistently reaching out, consistently posting on social media, consistently making sure that you are touching people's lives, building relationships. Even if you're not ready to share Thrive with somebody, are you building relationships other places? I just started at a boot camp. I've never done boot camp before. I've always been a cycle girl and do my own thing at the gym, but I need to broaden my circle. So I thought, gosh, boot camp is the way to go. That's 30 women that I'm working out with every single morning. I'm building relationships with those women. I'm in the same spot so I can meet the women around me and starting to build relationships, because there are going to be those lulls. But if you're consistent in reaching out, connecting with people, knowing that you need to follow up with people, the average person doesn't order until 7 to 11 touches. So 7 to 11 times you're reaching out to them before they're ready to make that purchase. And so it's building trust with them, building relationships. And there will be times where just nothing is happening, and then it will explode, and major stuff will happen, and your PPA will fly up to 10 or 15, and then it'll trickle down. It just is the way of the business. But if you're staying connected and continue to stay connected with your customers as well. So you've brought in these customers, now make their warm market your warm market by getting your customers thriving for free. So there are just different ways to always be focused on bringing people into the business, getting people to understand what the product is, how the product can help them, what the business opportunity can do for them, and then eventually all of those seeds will sprout that you've been working on. But here's the deal, guys. At the end of the day, we can plant as many seeds as we want, but just think about it. The birds take them, the wind takes them, the rain takes them. All these things happen. Jim Rohn does such a better job than I am doing on butchering his whole 45-minute podcast that he did all about these seeds being planted and growing and all of that. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind.
Thank you. That's awesome. And I know that that's really hard, photography business. And, you know, I would go 3 months and nobody would book a wedding. And I would be like, is this it? Is this the end? And, you know, it's hard not to think those things, but to just keep going. You know, it's tough, but it's everything. So this question will be for both of you, but Jasmine, you're going first. So I want you to describe how you treat Thrive as a business. And I know that you know what I mean by that question, that it's not a hobby, even though so many of us, me included, started this as a little side hustle. It might be nice if I make an extra $200 and I'll get my stuff for free because it's good. But when you're ready to say, no, I think we're going to do this, then how do you consistently treat it like a business in your life? And then you can just pass it on to Jami. Unmute yourself.
Sorry. I was yelling at my kid a minute ago, so it's good that I was muted. So first and foremost, you show up. I mean, that is like we were saying earlier, 80% of it. I show up every single day. When I first get up in the morning, I do my 3 steps and then I'm working. I put in the work. And here's the thing, I enjoy running a business. I enjoy what I'm doing. But the thing is if you show up, you stay consistent, you self-develop, which is a huge part of this business, I think, because it was something I never had to do in photography, because I was working basically with myself and my husband, and we were both cool with me. But in this business, I'm working with so many other people that I've really had to take time and self-develop. And I think that is like such a huge part of being able to work your business and treat it like a business daily. Focus on your own journey, because the success in your journey is going to sell someone else's, because they're going to be able to see themselves in you. There are so many little things that you get up and you do every single day. And I know that someone had posed a question in one of our groups about, well, what if you're busy? You know, I have so much stuff going on. And I'm like, dude, I run 3 businesses. Like it's priorities. You do what you want to do. I have a family and I spend time with them, but I also spend time with this business, and it's important to me. The things that you make important to you are gonna succeed. So if you put in, I know, I asked my husband earlier, I was like, how many hours do you think I work every week? And he jokingly said like 85, 90. And I mean, it's not wrong, because I do get up at like 5:30 and I usually work until about 3. So I started doing the math and I'm like, okay, I can see that. And then, you know, in the evenings, if someone messages me, I never like turn it off per se, you know? So I am working quite a bit, but the thing is like, I can work now for the freedom I'm going to have later. And later, I'm going to create residual income that is going to give me freedom in the next 3 years, to where I don't have to work 70 hours a week. And I'm willing to make that sacrifice now for my family, because it's important, and I can make it a priority. And anybody, you're not too busy. You just don't have it as a priority yet.
Jami, you're up.
So when I started in this, I had watched my sister and how much time she had given to this business. And so I knew what I was getting into when I came in. I wasn't going to mess around with this. I wasn't dipping my toe in. I was jumping in, and I was going 200K. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so what we chose to do is we sat down as a family and around my kitchen table. I won't forget this night. And I said, everybody gets to pick what they want. What do you want at the end of this? Like, what is your big want? And our family came to the conclusion that we wanted to go to Disneyland. And so every single time I was sitting in this office and somebody came in and needed me for something, I would point at that vision board to that big, huge picture of Disneyland. And I just would remind them, this is why I'm in here. I know I'm missing dinner. I know I'm eating my dinner in here, but remember, we're going to Disneyland. And I will tell you, to this day now, my kids 5 years ago were 11 and 5, and 11 and 6. And if you ask them today, do they remember that time where mom wasn't around a whole lot? And they're going to say, nope, we don't, because guess what? They get me around all the time, probably way more than they want now. And so there are people who absolutely are just really, really happy getting their product for free. They're really, really happy hitting 12K. But if you're looking at your spouse, if you're looking at your family and you're going, we're going 200K, it's going to take work, and it's going to take consistent work, hard work every single day. But when you hit that pinnacle, I can't even tell you how 110% worth it is. And here's the deal, guys. At the end of the day, you have to go to bed at night and feel good about what you're doing, and you have to wake up in the morning and feel good about what you have planned during the day. If working this business doesn't feel good, then it's not, then don't work it like crazy. You need to do what works and what makes you feel good and feel accomplished. But again, like I said earlier, the sound of being repetitious, you can work this business part-time or you can work this business full-time. You can't work it sometimes. So it is, a lot of times it's that sacrifice of getting up a half an hour earlier than usual to send out those messages, those birthday messages. It's not going and having lunch with your like if you're a teacher, it's not going and having lunch in the teacher's lounge. It's staying at your desk and eating lunch while you're sending out messages and connecting three-way calls. It's staying up after you get the kids in bed. It's asking your spouse to step up and help a couple nights a week so that you can jump on Zoom. So, it's those things that it's what it's going to take. Guys, every single day in the carpool pickup line, I take my stack of cards, and I could easily be walking in and talking with all the moms and all that, but I'm sitting in my car in the pickup line messaging people and connecting with people. So that's what it takes, and it just really depends on where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And honestly, that's going to be sitting down with your family and coming to the decision of what are we willing to sacrifice and what are we going to do and where do we want to go? What do we want from this business?
I think that it's so important, and I won't keep everybody much longer. I could ask you guys questions forever, but I think that it's so important to realize that it's everything that pays off is worth the work. And when I'm sure Jasmine was probably the same way, but I remember working 3 jobs. I used to sell brakes at Advanced Auto Parts, and I was a high school English teacher, and I was a youth director at our church, and I worked all the time. And then I decided my son can hear me outside. Can y'all hear Cole? He's like, Mama, and you can hear like claw marks on the door. But in the middle of those 3 businesses or those 3 jobs, I started my photography business, and I would put everything into it because I knew it would pay off. And I feel the same way about this. But one of my promoters is a teacher, and she had submitted a question. She's a very good friend of mine, has been, and she submitted a question that was just like, how do you do this? How do you balance your family life and you're doing this? And at first it feels like a pull until you realize that what you're doing is for them. And the payoff of a Tuesday lunch with your kid, like without asking a boss's permission, that to me is worth more than any paycheck. If I don't want to work tomorrow, I don't work tomorrow. But I know that I'm interviewing you guys, but it made me think of just one story, if you don't mind me sharing super fast. But this is a true story. So I knew a gentleman who had been in prison, and he was in prison for 5 years. And when he got out, he couldn't handle it. So he had all this freedom, and he really did not know what to do with that freedom. It actually felt harder than being in prison. And he would get out and he could eat when he wanted to eat. He could sleep when he wanted to sleep. He could work out when he wanted to work out. And I think that for some people, starting their own business is almost the same way. Because all of a sudden you've been told when to go to work, when you get off, when your free time is all these years. And then now you own your own business and you own your own freedom. And for some people that causes a panic because it's like, what do I do? Well, you get to make that decision. And I think that's what you get to make the decision. No, you don't have to work all the time. You don't. You can work part-time or you can work full-time, but you can't work some of the time. But that freedom is, I don't know, to me, that's worth working for. The freedom of my Tuesday lunches, or the freedom of of life. And anyway, I'm not comparing your all's 9 to 5s or anybody's 9 to 5s to a prison, um, but I don't know, maybe I am. So anyway, as we wrap up, I just wanted both of you to share what Thrive has done for you and your family, because for me it is that freedom, and just one piece of advice that you might give to Jasmine.
I didn't hear the one piece of advice you cut out.
Just one piece of advice that you would give to a new promoter.
Okay, got you. First of all, I do want to say how you were talking about the freedom part. When my dog is barking, sorry. When I messaged Kelli about the promoter opportunity, the one thing I said to her is, Kelli, do you realize the freedom this is going to create for us? Because I know what it is to be a wedding photographer. I know what that entails. So that was the one thing I said to Kelli. I was like, you don't understand the freedom this is going to create for us. So that is how I talked to Kelli about this. And I think, you know, a big part of what got you on board to begin with. But anyway, how this has changed my life and my family. You know, I'm only 3.5 months in. So right now it's busy. You know, I am busy. I am doing things, and it has changed my life in the sense that I have a lot more on my plate right now because I'm running another business on top of one that I was already running, and is starting to come back up now that people are having weddings again. So it's added a lot to what I'm doing. But it's also, I've gained so much in my personal journey thus far. And I think that that's the biggest thing that this has given me so far. You know, I love helping others. I love the money. I love the perks, the bonuses. I love my Denali truck. Like, I knew I wouldn't get off this Zoom without saying Denali. But I've lost 35 pounds. Like, do you realize at 5'5" what 35 pounds means? Like, that, I was telling Jamie today, I have lost 17.5% of my body. Like, that is like, and I still have like 28 pounds to go. Like, I'm still going, but just how I feel. And this is not a medical claim. Jamie, don't kick my butt. This is not a medical claim. I'm not saying that you can do this if you have Thrive. But because I have lost 35 pounds, not because Thrive, not a medical claim, I just lowered my blood pressure medicine. Like, I am doing things that needed to happen for me to see my son graduate from high school. I'm doing things that needed to happen for me to be at his wedding. I'm doing things that needed to happen for me to one day meet my grandchildren. So for me, this journey is more than the money that we make every Tuesday. Being held accountable by all of these people who have trusted me and signed up. I think I have like 250 people who have signed up with me. They're all looking at me saying, if she can do it, I can do it. And that holds me accountable every single day. That is the reason that I don't just go eat whatever I want and not take this seriously. Because I think about the people who I would disappoint. You know, I mean, so many people are looking at me as an inspiration right now because they've seen me struggle with my weight since college. They know that I used to be a college athlete, and here I am 60 pounds overweight now. Like, they identify with that. And like, I'm getting like so like fired up about it. I'm sorry. But just the self-development, I think, that has happened through all of this. It hasn't been easy. This whole journey hasn't been easy for me. There have been really hard parts of this for me. in my personal journey. And I think that me growing through those things and pushing through when it would have been easier for me to just throw in the towel. But I knew I had so many other people looking to me and saying, you know what, if Jasmine's going to do it, I'm going to do it. Because let's face it, we live in a state that is very economically, we're poor, y'all. I mean, a lot of us are poor. I mean, it's just what it is. And this is the kind of opportunities that doesn't happen for people here. And this is life-changing money, life-changing health, family-changing everything. So I see this as such an opportunity, and I'm just starting. Like, this is only 3 months in. Like, I can't even imagine three more months from now where this is going to be. Like, so when you ask me, like, what has it done for me so far, like, nothing compared to what it's probably going to do. I don't even know. Like, but I'm excited to find out. Sorry, I rambled.
That is super exciting. No. And I know Jami will go next and then we'll wrap it up. But just before you finish, I know that we cannot share what we make. Exactly. And that is, like you were, no medical claim and no financial claim. But that is, of course, one of the questions that was popping up. And it's, are you doing okay at 40K? And is that worth their time? Can I word it that way? Is that okay?
Okay. It's hard to say it and be compliant. And I'm looking at Jami saying this because
I know. And I'm like, I don't even know.
Yell at me later.
I mean, and I don't even know if you can just say, I'm doing fine. Like, I don't know.
You are making well into the 4 figures and close to 5, aren't you, yes, Jasmine, by the end of the month?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Like
I can say I had a comma.
All my paychecks have commas, yes. But okay, if you at the end of the month, it's 5 figures.
Okay. That's what somebody wanted to know. And, I didn't know exactly if I could even ask that. But it was kind of the same thing with Jami. Because obviously at 40K, if we're seeing commas, we're probably seeing commas at 200K too. But Jami, we're probably seeing some commas. Yeah, if you don't care, just to share like your favorite part about this journey, business or health-wise, and then if you would say that it's worth the work financially.
So first of all, I want to just circle really quick back to what you were saying about, the freedom and all of that. One thing that really stuck out to me in the very, very beginning was somebody said, please make sure that you never make your why your excuse. So if your kids are your why and you want a better financial future for your children, you cannot make your children an excuse for you. You cannot say, oh, it's time for me to do back time for my kids, so I have to miss this Zoom. Or I can't go to that living room local because I have to deal with my kids. You got to figure that out. So that I just thought about that when you were saying that. So the financial blessings of this company has completely changed our lives. I will say that. I was the first person I don't mean to pat myself on the back or anything, but when our team when I hit 200K, our team hit the very first $200,000 bonus that the company did, and I got a mommy makeover and a new kitchen. So, I was able to post, I did get approval from compliance to post that between my husband's auto bonus and my auto bonus, we have done, well, as of this month, we have done over $115,000 just in auto bonuses in 5 years. So, for each person, you have to figure out, is that worth it? To us, it's absolutely worth it. To us, it has changed our financial future. It has, I'm taking my kid to go look at colleges out of state. That was never an option before. And we're going in October to look at out of state colleges. I don't want her to go out of state, but, so it's hard. You guys all came in this really crazy time of COVID, but most of the time, like any other time besides COVID, usually we're running for all these different trackers, and we're going to, like right now, we would be running for our trip in October, and we'd all be going to someplace fabulous in October. And so it's not just the paycheck every single week. It's not just the car. It's all the other fun stuff. I mean, 3 lifestyle getaways a year, you guys, that is all expensive paid. Like, those things are legit. I think last time I checked out, my husband and I had gone on 19 trips. Well, Mike hasn't gone on every single one. Sometimes I've taken a girlfriend or whatever, but I mean, all expenses paid. So there's so many other things, friends, and like, it's so far beyond just the financial freedom of what I have gained from Le-Vel, and why I absolutely am married to this company and love this company more than anything.
I'm so excited that we did this. I appreciate you guys so much. I know that time is money, and that you guys, are giving up your time, and I know that both of you would probably be somewhere working, and I'm sure that as soon as we get off of here, Jami is going to hop on another Zoom to change the world in another area. So, anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for doing this. I hope that, I think almost everybody, I think Jasmine has somebody here. I'm pointing as if you know where she is on my screen. Jasmine. I think Jasmine had somebody that already hit the $1,000 credits. So she just hit 4K. So congratulations. I think that's Kim. Is that right, Jasmine? So congratulations to Kim. But I have 3 girls on here right now that have an account. Kelli hit 4K last month, but she is working with her husband and her husband's account to get that. And it is just killing me. And I know that you 2 girls, Jami and Jasmine, that if this was when you guys started, you would just be up all night texting and calling and like going at it. So I'm dying to get one of my girls there, or guys. But anyway, thank you so much for your time. I hope that we can do this again. And I hope that something that somebody said just inspired you guys to go out and kill it tonight or tomorrow or this week. Jasmine?
If you guys could put your picture on just for a second, I want to take a screenshot. That's all I want. I want a picture. The photographer that wants a picture.
Wherever you are.
Aaron, Kelli, Tanner, and Kim, you're on your can't, can you?
Well, you're getting ready to take your picture. I'll follow up with what you said, Kelli.
Yes.
One of the very greatest things in this business is when your team is hitting that auto bonus. Like, I literally am in tears. My very first auto bonus earner had never, ever, ever owned a new car. And she went out and got herself a brand new Lexus. Like, that was unfreaking believable. Another promoter was able to buy a house. She's almost 50 years old, has never owned her own home, was able to go buy a home. Those things, you guys, to have your hands in and know that you're a part of helping people have success is huge. I mean, it's little things like getting moms off the couch to play with their kids and helping people lose 35 pounds, and all of those things are awesome. But when you have your hand in helping someone change their financial future and have success and be able to go out and get whatever car they want and buy a house, like, those kind of things are huge. So stick with it. You're in the right place at the right time. Do not give up. Focus in, and you guys are going to go to extremes with this company.
All right, so I'm getting ready to screenshot this. Chelsea messaged me and she said, "No way, Jasmine." All right, here we go. Everybody smiling. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Got it. Thank you.
I look a hot mess. I'm not turning this camera on.
I don't even know who said that. Was that Chelsea?
It was
well, but she looks cute in her picture. It's fine.
And Kim hopped off before I took it. It's
she
okay.
Did. She was like,
she got her $1,000 credits today. She done.
Okay. Well, thanks, you guys. Go have a good night. Go work some.